This video is not a step-by-step tutorial. It is not meant to teach anyone how to paint exactly like me. I just wanted to walk through how I personally approach a mural like this, the decisions I make, the process I follow, and why I honestly think that anyone could do something like this if they were willing to put in the time. This is how I work, nothing fancy, just what makes sense for me right now. If you're new here, I'm Wes. I'm a full-time teacher, I'm a dad of 2 under 2, and I'm trying to build a creative side hustle painting murals one wall at a time. Last week, I shared a 5-minute time lapse that showed more than 20 hours of work painting this mural for my wife's home office makeover. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I look for images that already exist, and then I try to make it work for the space that I'm working in. My wife and I had a mural in our old house that we absolutely loved, that we really wanted to recreate in our new house. The biggest thing I think about is the room itself. A mural just doesn't live on a wall by itself. It lives in a space where people actually spend time. So I try to keep things simple, readable, and balanced, especially when you're in a room that isn't huge. Once I have a general idea of what the image is going to be, the next thing I start thinking about is color. Recently I've started using the Sherwin-Williams app, especially for this mural. It's been really helpful in visualizing how different colors may actually look in the room before I actually commit to anything. One feature that I found especially useful is how it helps me find monochromatic tones that I can use for my mural. That saves me a lot of time when I'm trying to build layers and make the whole mural feel cohesive. You can also order as many sample cards as you want directly through the app and have them shipped to your house for free, which makes the planning stage a lot easier. For this particular space, my wife and I went with a color called Natural Linen for the warm background color. Actually, I painted the whole room in this natural linen color, prepping for my mural. It's subtle, but it works really well as a base layer and keeps the mural feeling less heavy, especially since the rest of the mural is pretty monochromatic. Just to be clear, I am not sponsored by Sherwin-Williams, but they really did come in clutch for me during this project. In the past, I've gone to Lowe's or Home Depot, and I've picked up sample cards, and when I choose the colors that I want, I use, I ask for, samples. And those samples are, they're pretty small, and they usually get me through the color I need for whatever mural I'm working on. But sometimes I'd run out, and I'd have to run back out to Lowe's or Home Depot to get, a little bit more to finish the job. With my local Sherwin-Williams store, I can either, I usually make a phone call, but you can order online or, call the store directly, tell them the colors you want, and then you can pick it up the same day, which saves a ton of time. The other big thing is the sample size. When I ordered my paint with Sherwin-Williams, the container that it comes in is noticeably bigger than the standard sample size you get from Lowe's or Home Depot. And it even comes with a handle that I can use whenever I'm painting my mural. It is $5 more at Sherwin-Williams to get their sample size, but to me, in my opinion, I'd rather have more than enough paint than risking running out and then potentially having to go back out for a second trip to get more paint. After I have my colors ready to go, and also my drawing, which I use software on my computer to create the image that I want, I use a projector to get the image on the wall. Because the room is so tight, I couldn't get the whole image on the wall all at once. I had to do it in sections. That part's really just a judgment call. Stepping back, adjusting the size, shifting things around until they just feel right. It's not about making it perfect. It's about making the image fit the space naturally. Once the image is projected on the wall, I use chalk to lightly trace the lines that I want to use. I like using chalk because it's forgiving. If something feels off, I can make an adjustment without having to feel like I'm fighting pencil lines underneath the paint. The outline isn't meant to be final. It's just a guide to keep things where they need to be when the painting starts. From there, it's all painting. I usually start with the background or any larger shapes first, and then work my way towards using details. I also start with the lighter colors and then try to work my way to the darker colors at the end. Obviously, if you're working on a wall, you want to start at the top, work your way to the bottom in case paint accidentally drips or something. You can make some adjustments. I try not to overthink anything, which is kind of hard. I try to trust the process and just let the mural come together layer by layer. For this mural, I painted over 4 nights. 3 of them were back to back. I believe one of them was a school night. But typically for most of those nights, I usually start around 9 or 10 p.m. depending on when the kids go to bed finally, and I get the dishes put away. And then I try to finish up around 4 in the morning. I probably averaged around 2 hours of sleep for the 3 nights that were back to back. I do it this way because I want to be present for my kids when they're awake. I don't want to miss that time if I can help it, even if it means trading sleep for progress. This is also a reason why I'm trying to take my time before taking on clients. I want to keep refining my process, learning what works, and making sure that when I finally do this for a client, that it's done right. There's no rush. I'm just trying to build this the right way. This channel is just me documenting that journey, building walls by Wes, one wall at a time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll come back and see my next move in creating this side hustle.